Today's guest is a woman who is creative, to say the least. From sparking creativity in young people's minds through her illustration, to allowing people to see work in a visual aspect. She also overcame being extremely shy to now having amazing confidence and networking with so many. But before we get into this, I want to say a huge thank you to Parliament Square Coffee for allowing us to film here. But enough of this, let's get into the episode. If you could like, share, subscribe, it would mean the absolute world. It'll allow me to open up new doors to find more amazing guests who have stories that need sharing. So we'll be able to do that. We'll be able to grow the podcast to its full potential. And this is all going to value you. So if you could do this for me, it would mean the world. Thank you for all the support so far. And there's more amazing stuff to come. Enjoy the episode. So Dhari, I wanted to start with something you said when we first spoke. I asked you, what's one line that sums you up right now? And your response was, really fucking driven.
Yeah.
What do you think this has led you to feel this way in your chapter of life?
I actually forgot that I said that. That's kind of funny. I am still in the same place. I think I never used to be this way, like the way that I used to think, because I think this only started when like just after COVID. I guess that's like an easy timestamp for me to remember. But before then, I was like during uni and like college and all of that. So I kind of just was the average kid trying to just find my way and just doing like random things, trying to discover certain things. But I was also extremely shy, like you said. So I kind of just felt like I was going with the flow of whatever happened around me, as opposed to me actually influencing anything that was happening in my life. And that was good to a certain extent, because you kind of want to be aloof when you're younger, but then like not so great in other ways. So I think certain things, like I had a big breakup with a past relationship around COVID, and just around the time I just finished my master's as well, and had just come back from living in Japan for a little while. So there were kind of like a lot of transitions happening at the same time. So I think that triggered a lot of different changes in me. And that's kind of where it started, because I never really had much motivation to do anything career-wise. Like I was pursuing psychology in some sort of way at the time. And I knew I absolutely loved it, but I knew nothing about the world and didn't really want to learn. I feel like I was just like, no, whatever happens. So yeah, that was the catalyst for change, all of those things happening at once. And I started learning more about myself and started realizing, oh, like I actually want to do stuff. And it kind of morphed and changed a million times from that point, but the sentiment remained the same. Like at the time I was hell-bent on going to Spain. So I was kind of saving up and figuring out how I was going to get there and how long I could stay there because of Brexit and whatever, and like the visa situation. So the second I was able to, once like lockdown and everything was over, I was gone. So that was like the beginning, I think, for me.
Perfect answer. Now let's go back in time to your upbringing. Would you say you were confident growing up, or would connecting and speaking with people be quite difficult?
Oh my God, I was so bad at it. I was so bad. I was a very painfully shy kid. The younger you go, like the more, like the younger I was, I felt like I just wouldn't speak to people I didn't know. And I don't know, I feel like it wasn't really a problem back then. I don't think it was something that was stopping me from, like it didn't stop me from schoolwork or like usual kind of day-to-day routine stuff, but I was very shy. I think when I started becoming, I think it was when I was a teenager around college time, I started slowly getting out of my shell a little bit. But before then, yeah, I was really shy, just wanted to kind of be wallpaper.
Right.
And I just
So
wanted
would you like to be alone at times as a child?
Yeah, I think so. It's weird because I come from a big family.
Yeah.
So, and I loved being around my family, my extended family, mainly because there were so many older kids that I thought were so cool, and they were doing so many cool things at the time, and I just wanted to be around them. And so many of them were starting to have kids around that time, or like getting married and then having kids. and I love kids. So I just wanted to be around all of them all the time. So I loved being around people, um, just people I knew. I think.
And would you say you were confident around them? So like
um,
close family and
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, it would depend on the person, I think.
person. Yeah.
Because even back, I didn't know who I was. So if you don't know who you are, how can
I
you
just
be
yeah, of course.
yourself? You know,
So
like
at that time you were just that was just you anyway, so you wouldn't know that there was any issue or
exactly,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
were shy at the time. It was
Exactly.
just you.
That's just kind of
Yeah.
the way I was.
I
Like,
see.
in some situations, I would be super extroverted, like my dad. My dad's very, very extroverted. And then sometimes I would be extremely painfully shy or just introverted, which my mom is a little bit more introverted. So I'd be kind of just a bit of both, I think.
Did they ever recognize your shyness or
Mm-hmm.
talk to you about it at all?
They recognized it, but they kind of just let me be, you know? They kind of respected, because like I said, it wasn't something that affected my day-to-day routine or anything like that. So it wasn't, it just kind of just was the way I was back then. So they didn't really say much to me, you know, like they kind of just accepted me the way I was, as cheesy as that sounds.
What was your parents like growing up with a
Um, I think they were extremely loving, of course. They were, uh, one thing I always remember is I loved that they were so accepting with me and my brother, and then eventually when my sister came along, it's a big age gap, for school stuff. We never, like in the Indian culture and many cultures, they want you to have like the higher grades and do certain things, and they'll have like a lot more input with subjects that you do, careers that you choose, and stuff like that. They never did that, and I loved that they were really good with just being like, just do the best you can, you know. Because I was like, I rarely got A's. I got like B's sometimes. I got C's most of the time. And they're like, just do the best you can. It's cool.
so they were really supportive and just were letting you just experiment and just
I think so, yeah. And both of them are creative in their own ways. My dad doesn't say he's creative, but he is. Both of them are quite creative, so I think they kind of just were like, well, just do what you need to do. You know, they knew that I loved drawing, so they kind of just accepted that and loved that, like, I had the sketchbook and everything wherever I went and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So then back to the shyness. When did that cycle change and how did it allow you to be comfortable now? Like back then you wouldn't be on a podcast.
And no, and this is my second podcast, would you believe? And
Wow.
I'm still like, how the hell has this happened? It's insane to me that this is a thing. And by the way, thank you, because this is really cool. But I think when I started going to college, around that time I started dance lessons, and I love dance. I love Bollywood. I still absolutely love it. And back then, I wish I did it a lot sooner, because it was one of my cousin's dance companies, and it was there was only like a few years or something like that I was with them, and then they closed down. So I wish I started it a lot sooner, because it got me out of my shell, and I loved it so much. Like, we did all Bollywood music, and within Bollywood music, there's a lot of different types of dances. So I was able to learn loads of different dances. I did like traditional dance before then, but that was a little bit different because I was a bit younger at that point. So yeah, dance kind of brought me out of that, and the college that I went to was a lot more diverse than the previous schools that I'd went to. So I went from being usually the only Indian person in the class to Indian people everywhere. So I was like, oh my God, my people. So I think that had a big part of it as well. Like, I don't think it was vocalized. I didn't really know why, but you kind of just feel like you belong a little bit more, you know? So I think that helped.
So it was a nice community aspect as well. And
Definitely.
well, it shows how much creative you were then. So like with all your art and
Yeah.
but then in this other avenue you were really creative as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's always been there, but never really something I thought about until recently. Back then it was just like, oh, I like dance, cool. And then, oh, I like drawing, cool. But I never really pursued it as something that I would do as a job until recently. So, which is interesting.
Do you feel like that was the turning point to allowing you to be a bit more confident and express
Definitely.
yourself?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. Because I think I was so, and like still to a certain extent am. I think that kid is always going to be in me. My instinct sometimes is to kind of pull away from anything that puts me in the spotlight. But then once I'm in it, like it feels a lot better because I'm used to, like, when you're in a situation, you've been in a situation before, I feel like you know what to expect. So yeah, like dance and being in that college and like little things like that would push me forward. Like I was part of the Follow the Light tour of the Olympics when it came to England, like
Wow.
ages
Really?
ago. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just one of the parade
Yeah.
people, like nothing special, but that was something that like was really cool as well because it was like a 7-day tour, like a day in a different place and stuff like that kind of really pushed me out there. And then
Well, it takes you out of your comfort zone, obviously, because
definitely.
even if you're not talking, you're still on a, you're still performing in some way. You're still on a stage where people,
Yeah.
millions of people can see you live.
Yeah, and
So
it discovers, like, you can help, it helps you discover your body as well, like be comfortable in your body. I feel like there's a lot of people, um, you grow up kind of feeling shame about your body. That like women, anyone,
yeah,
but in my experience, an Indian woman,
yeah,
um, you're kind of taught subconsciously by society that you should be ashamed of your body, or you should be like you should cover this, or don't show this, or don't sit this way, or whatever. So I think that's kind of that helped a lot as well to make me feel a bit more like, no, this is like normal, you know.
Now let's move on to what I would say from speaking to you, your purpose, illustration and drawing. You said to me, you live and breathe it. Can we go into this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely do. I, when I'm not drawing, like, I feel like if it wasn't such a healthy thing, it would be obsessive and unhealthy. It definitely would be because when I'm just walking down the street, I think of ways to draw the certain things, or I'm like studying it, like, oh, how does the light go through the leaf, and like really intricate things like that I find so interesting, and it helps me understand the world around me as well because you can like say for the example of the leaf. I feel like I say this to everyone, but like when you look through a leaf, it's it's so interesting because it's a little bit translucent, so you can see the light going through it, but it alters the light. So when the leaf is a little bit like thicker, it's going to be a different color. Like it's just so, it sounds so, like, it sounds a bit nerdy, but like,
No, I understand what you mean.
but it's
Yeah.
so
But
interesting,
I
right?
love to see that though, because no matter what avenue of work somebody's in, to see somebody so driven and basically obsessed with the craft, that might, people might look at it as a negative, but I see it in a good way. Like your day to day, constantly in the back of your mind, there's always,
Yeah.
there's art everywhere. So
Yeah, there
you
really
use it
is.
to your advantage, definitely. Would you
Absolutely.
say?
And that's a beautiful thing, I think, that I've learned in my adulthood, that they're genuine, as cheesy as, I hate being cheesy, but as cheesy as it sounds, there is beauty in everything. There's like so many things around us that we ignore every day. And the tiniest of things can bring us joy. And like, why wouldn't you live like that, you know? Like, one of my cousins actually said a while back, she was like, oh look, there's a flower over there, we were walking somewhere, and she was like, oh look, flower, because we like flowers. And I was like, oh, pretty. And she was like, you're very easily pleased, aren't you? And she meant it in a funny way.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's the way to be, right? Like, I love the
course,
little
yeah.
things, and like laughing about the little things. And yeah, I feel like those are the things that make life.
Well, I think that's an amazing skill, because I think there's a lot of people who aren't like that. People look for the next big thing, or like, I'll be happy when I get to this
Oh my
point,
God,
or
yeah.
but when you never get to that point, because you got to be happy in the small moments and the little. I say, even if it's in your line of work, it's the little wins, but just in every day, like you wake up, coffee, shower,
Exactly.
walk to work, whatever it
Yeah.
is, it's
Yeah.
them little moments that are actually
Yeah.
really special.
Yeah, exactly. And I truly believe that those are bigger than the big moments because they'll come and go. But the constants that you find lovely, that you want to add to your routine, and you use your free will to have this type of coffee or this kind of luxury in the day, or like you sit by the window for 10 minutes a day to do this thing, or like look out the window, or whatever it may be. It can be the stupidest, tiniest thing to some people, but those are the things that are going to make your life a lot better.
They
Like,
actually make the huge differences, don't they? That's
they
the funny
really do.
thing. The
Yeah.
things that we think will make the big differences
Yeah.
actually don't. It's the little
Exactly.
things. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Where do you think your talent come from?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Yeah.
I um I think everyone has creativity in them.
Yeah.
So I have never looked into this before, but probably genetic, right?
Yeah,
Probably
of
a bit
course.
genetic. But yeah, like I feel like there's a lot of creativity in my family. They just don't think of it that way. I think a lot of people in my family, or a lot of people in general, don't really feel like they're creative if they're not doing a stereotypical creative job. But I've been drawing since I was a kid. So I think there's a combination of everyone has the instinctual level of talent of whatever it may be, whether it's creative or not, and then they have the chance to build on that. And I feel like it's irrelevant whether it's instinctual or not, it's how much work you put in, right?
Of course.
And because I've been so obsessed with it since I was so young, I feel like I've been working on it without realizing I've been working on it since I was a kid. And it started off with like copying stuff all the time and doing studies of like still life or copying from like tracing from a book just because, you know, because I found it satisfying when I was younger. And yeah, I think it was 99% of the time it was like just like pencil drawings of still life or people's faces or stuff like that. And I just did that for fun. And then eventually, like I had actually a long period of not drawing for a while, but when I got back to it, I started copying things again and then realized, oh, I have no experience with creating something original. And it was really frustrating because I was like, I just could not figure out how to make that step up from copying something to making something completely like I've thought of from scratch. I just could not figure it out. And then from then I just kept doing studies and like online courses and stuff like that from people that I respected the opinion of, the people that I wanted to have their talent, the kind of drawings that they did. And yeah, like I just kept working at it and kept working at it. And I just could not leave it until I got to a point where I was happy with it, you know?
Yeah, I love that. So it's like, again, the obsession. It's
Exactly.
it's a really healthy obsession. But I love the way it started off as just a passion and just like maybe a talent that you were, say, born with. We say this about people, but like something that you were just meant to do, found it in, and then the passion grew from there, and then just the progression of being able to grow and flourish in it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, it's um, yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it doesn't feel like work because I
Yeah.
love it so much, you know. So
That's the best part of
yeah,
it, isn't it?
absolutely.
Did you always know that you wanted to go into as art as your job? And no?
I wasn't going to. That's why I kind of had that period of like not drawing for a while because I pursued psychology first. So that was the thing. I loved drawing, but I wanted to keep that for me. I kind of just had the assumption that you know, society tells you like you're not going to get any money from it, so just leave it. So I was like, okay, I'll just leave that as my like hobby, and that was completely fine with me because I love psychology so much. So I was happy with pursuing that as like the money maker. So I did that I got 2 degrees in that. So I did undergrad in psychology with forensics, and then I did a master's of psychological well-being and mental health. And that was so amazing. I loved it so much. But yeah, I kind of just was floating at that point. It's such a saturated industry that everyone is going for the same job. There are so many people going for the same jobs. And I think I just realized I wasn't really cut out for it.
And it wasn't for you.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, because I am not a competitive person at all. And I don't like being competitive. I don't want to be competitive. I want to be in a space where there's space for everyone. And I'm not saying that that's what the industry was like for psychology whatsoever. I just am not that way. So I didn't want to. I kind of just didn't figure out what I wanted to do with it. I was just kind of aimlessly being like, yeah, I'll just learn more and then see what happens after that. And I went into life coaching for a bit, and I was pursuing that for a bit because that was kind of my way of doing the psychology, but my way, because you would need to kind of make your own business with that. And that was really cool and very, very interesting, but it didn't really last too long. I did a bunch of certifications on it, but I think, when was that? That was around COVID, then eventually went to Spain. And then from Spain, I needed money. So I started looking for jobs, like online, because I was learning Spanish at the time. I couldn't put time in for a full-time job, so I was looking for a part-time one. Started looking for graphic design jobs because I was like, I have no experience in this, but anyway, I'm just going to do it. And eventually found something like very weirdly. From there, it started triggering the idea of some sort of design-related job. I literally had not thought about it before that. I was just like, I started doing Upwork, the freelance platform, doing design work on that, and a bit of illustration work, but mostly design stuff, and then looking for a permanent job in design. Before that, I was just like, I was doing the life coaching thing. I didn't think about anything else, but I needed some money coming in, and I just wanted it to be passive income. So yeah, that's when I started pursuing it, and it was just completely random, but did it anyway.
It's so interesting though, isn't it, how our life paths take us to one point. Like,
Definitely.
if you didn't go to Spain, you wouldn't have ever maybe
genuinely
gone into it. It's crazy. But I also want to just touch back a bit. Do you know when you said that you're not competitive in a way? Can I just ask, because when we've spoke, I see it as, would you be competitive in yourself because you put it into your work?
That's interesting. Yeah.
I don't know, this is just off topic. It just made it just
that's a
spark
really interesting way of putting it. Yeah. I always think of competitiveness as like one person pitted against each other, or like you want to win against another person. I never thought about it inwards. I am very competitive with myself. Yeah. I think that's just, I have very, very high standards for myself, and if I don't meet them, like, I was going to say, if I don't meet them, then like that's not going to happen. I feel like it's one of those things that I don't let myself get to the point of not meeting them. So I adjust before the end point, if that makes sense.
So it's just a constant improvements and work to get to that point. That's what you're trying to say, yeah?
Definitely, yeah. I'm sometimes too harsh on myself, definitely, but trying to be better with that. Yeah.
No, but that's really interesting, because I think there is a lot of people who focus on others and think like, oh, what they're doing, I need to work towards doing what they do. But I really like that outlook of like, it's just fully focused and fully hone in on the self-improvement. But sometimes it can be a negative, but obviously if you get the outcomes you wanted, I can't see that as a negative. But
true,
I just had to bring that up. It was quite interesting.
No, but that's such an interesting point, because I definitely, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect with it. I definitely I don't compete with other people, for stop. That's just, I switch off at that point. If it gets to it, even if like we're playing a friendly game with someone, like if I'm playing like a game or sports or whatever, I switch off when people start getting competitive, because I'm just like, I'm not interested. So that's like, I mean, maybe not that great, because sometimes it can just be for fun. But like with seeing what other people are doing online, or other artists, anything like that, I do kind of like, there's this pang of like, oh, they're younger than me and they're doing really, really well, or like, oh my God, they're so talented, I wish I had that. And I never used to have that, so I don't like that about myself. But I definitely, it's more inward than it is like.
But then also, I see that as maybe that's also, it can be a positive if you look at it in that way. So even though you all look at them like, you're still giving them the satisfaction of like an accomplishment at the same time, but then you're also, that's probably driving you to improve at the same time. If you know what I mean?
You're right. I think there was, what was it called? It's like the talent gap or something like that. That reminds me of that. There's someone that I saw an article, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about the like talent gap, let's say. And she was talking about how she had this experience with another very well-known artist in the community. I don't remember who it is. And she was saying how at the time she was at uni, and she was, by her standards, shit. She was really, really bad at what she was doing, because she was new, and she, was kind of just getting used to the situation for illustration. And this person said to her that your standards are here, but your talent is here, and all the talent gap is you're getting frustrated with where you are. That's just because you have high standards and you know what you want. You're just not there yet, talent-wise, skill-wise. And I feel like that's a really important thing to keep reminding yourself of, because a lot of people know exactly where they need to be. They just don't know how to get there yet. That's all it is. And you just need to keep working at that part. It's not that you don't have it, it's that you don't have it yet,
Yeah, definitely. I do totally agree with that. It's a really good point. And I think
Yeah.
people will take that on. That's really good. And then I also want to ask, I was thinking about your journey into what you do now. So like the psychology and even just everyday life, does that really help you put passion into your work of like your art? So like you understanding people, I don't know, even if it's children's illustration, you're able to understand the psychology of that. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Do you know what I'm asking you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
absolutely. I
emotions.
think it impacts literally everything. I think maybe it just has like a knock-on effect that like I think the biggest thing that I can take away from it is emotional maturity. That this is something that I'm always going to have, humble too, that I'm always going to have and build upon, and that's going to be the priority. So I can, like, through that lens, I can see other things, like I can see things a little bit clearly, basically. So like understanding what people need a little bit more, you know, when I do the networking, or like when I was doing graphic design stuff, or when I do graphic design stuff now, like where to put the button, like something as small as that, like the call to action button and stuff like that. For children's books, it's something that I'm continuing to learn about, that like certain things like making it maybe a little bit more simplistic, so kids, like with their development, they can take it in a little bit easier, or it just appeals to them more, or certain colors to use, or
It catches them and they understand it more, don't they? Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. But there's a lot of like subconscious
Yeah.
things as well. Like, the other day, I think it must have been an online course, something I was listening to, and they were saying things like putting zigzags
Yeah.
on like clothing or something can allude to the fact that the character is a little bit more anxious. How interesting is that? I
That's so
love
interesting.
stuff like that.
See, this is what I was trying to ask. So, like, how does the emotions of understanding that through your
Yeah,
understanding of psychology
yeah,
allow you to really go full in?
yeah,
Because even though people who are on the outside just see the artwork, or it's a parent with a child reading
yeah.
the book that you've illustrated in, they just see the image. But like the hours are breaking down, and the reason why you've done this, or why
Exactly.
it's really powerful.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so interesting. I think that the stuff that I've done in the past, the degrees that I did were quite broad. So I feel like they taught me a lot of like the tools that I need. And the tools were more, I think I use them more personally to become a better person and to be a person I can be proud of. And then later on, with like the children's book illustrations, character design, and that kind of thing, I can use those tools to learn a bit more about those specific things, if that makes sense. So like I'm still doing things like I don't know if you've heard of Domestica, but it's a really great online course platform, and they do, I think it's mostly like creative courses, and they're really great for like specific courses. So I can do like character design specific courses, or like way of a certain medium or anything like that. So those really help with that. I think that's probably the main source of
Yeah,
like,
because when I
learning
was
that
thinking,
stuff.
I was like, wow, the skill is actually so detailed. Because if you don't think of it in that way, you're just going to see the image. But when you break it down, it's like the
Yeah,
detail. It really
I love
shocked
that.
me, and it was really,
I
really
think that's my
interesting.
favorite part,
Yeah,
because there are so many things you can add to it to create this really cool world. But when you look at it at a glance, the goal is that people looking at it quickly are supposed to get that feeling. But when they look at it closely, then they can see the details and everything. That's a beautiful thing. But things like the zigzag on the clothing, or putting the eyebrow like a pixel up, or something as tiny as that, or like having the hair a little bit more frizzy or like zigzaggy, adding movement can make a character look a certain way. So even just at a glance, someone can look, okay, that's an anxious character. I find that so interesting, because yeah,
you're
it's just the
basically
tiny things.
you're basically telling a story through the art, even though
Yeah.
you're illustrating for a story. You're putting your own story into the art. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's genuinely my favorite
yeah.
part. I just,
No, that's
yeah.
amazing. I think that's the perfect segue to touch on and dive in about your current project, Dhari the designer,
Yeah.
which consists of book illustration and live events illustration. Do you want to give me some details
Sure,
about
yeah.
this?
So I've had this business for a little while now, but it's kind of shifted from like just casual freelance work to this full thing. And I'm trying to build it into this really big, I want it to be something I can take with me for the rest of my life or for a very long time. So you're right, it was a live event illustration and book illustration. So for the book illustration, it's largely children's books, any books really, because I love any kind.
Yeah.
I do love children's and young adults book illustration though, because it's just so fun and you can add the details and the colors are vibrant and you can create any kind of fantastical
can be endless
world.
creativity, can't
You
you?
really can, yeah.
You can be as bold and experiment as much as possible.
Exactly, and I love anything whimsical and magical and wizard stuff and anything magical like that. So yeah, you can do more stuff like that, I guess. So I love stuff like that. I've actually just finished my first book, so that's coming out very, very soon. And the author's amazing, and she was honestly the perfect first client. So that was amazing to work with her on that. And I also do live event illustration, which is more so corporate event live illustration. So that's kind of more like graphic recording, visual, super visual minutes for content heavy events. So events that have a lot of speakers, like summits or conferences, even like workshops, smaller scale like that. If there's a lot of content that people need to take in, like after a while we switch off. I can't remember the statistic, but like after a certain amount of time, it's not long, people switch off, especially if it's just someone talking at you constantly, no stopping. Even if there's like a presentation in the back, the PowerPoint presentation is not really...
it doesn't get the point across as well.
It doesn't as much, no, unless you've got like a presentation designer that can help you.
But then that's basically
that is, yeah. But yeah, so it doesn't... I think so. 65% of us are visual learners, so that's part of it as well. Yeah. But there's also a lot of neurodivergent people that need more than just someone speaking at them. I can't either. Like I'm a visual learner, very, very visual learner. So I need some sort of thing written down or like preferably illustrated, honestly, because I that's how I learned even when I was at uni. So yeah, like that kind of thing is difficult without visuals. So what I do is I go in to these events and I would take my iPad. I always do it digitally, and it will be me just kind of doodling what's being said. So we'll have all of these speakers. So there's like a few speakers in a row. I'll kind of just be listing what's being said, and people can take it away with them at the end of the event. It can be given to all of the attendees or the clients after the fact, so they don't have to take notes while they can be there present.
And they can focus.
And they can focus, exactly, yeah. And then they can have my illustrations at the end of it. It's something that can be used for like promotional material, like it can be used for anything, you know. And yeah, colored visuals, like it can stay in your head up to 20 years later. Like it's insane, the statistics on it of helping people retain, like not only retain, but like actually take in the information, understand the information, internalize it, and then also retain it, like keep it for longer. So yeah, it can be really beneficial for a lot of different events. If you want people to retain the information for longer, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really good point across.
That's really cool.
Has it been tough trying to get people to have an understanding of, all right, we've just spoke through loads of benefits of why. Has it been tough to get people to understand why it's a benefit?
I don't think it's tough. I think people have been, all of my in-person networking has been in Liverpool, so that's my frame of reference, and thank God, because it's been amazing. Thankfully, it's not been difficult. It's been just like people don't know much about it. That's all, and they're intrigued and they want to know more. I think you said it in Kerry's podcast, actually, that in Kerry's episode, that people are they just want to know more here, you know, and I really get that as well, that, yeah, people just are like, oh, I've never heard of that, tell me more. And I've had a lot of great responses from it, that people are so interested, and I meet a lot of people who are like trainers, coaches, people who hold a lot of events or do a lot of talks, and a lot of them maybe don't know the benefits of retention and they don't think too much about it. They just think of what, you know, the content that they need to put across. But a lot of people do know that they don't just need to put the information across. They've got to try and keep them like increase their retention levels and try to maximize it as much as possible. So there's another side of it to actually get the information to stick. You can't just throw the spaghetti at the wall. You have to try and like figure out ways of it sticking, and that's a really valuable thing to learn too. So yeah, it's been great to talk to people, and there are loads of people, even if they don't know what the situation is, what the illustration is, they still really value it.
And still curious about it, yeah.
They're still curious about it, yeah. So it's been really, really lovely, very
Mm-hmm.
wholesome time, like telling people, because with the networking events that I go to, a lot of the time I'm the only creative in the room. If I'm not, then I'm the only illustrator in the room. And that's really cool for me because I can kind of be around new people and kind of teach them about this new thing that was new to me as well, until recently. So yeah, it's just cool to tell people about it.
Well, like when I first found out about it, when we obviously spoke, and then when I was thinking of like what we can talk about, I was looking into it, and I was thinking of what are like some benefits, and like you said, it helps visual learners retain key messages. But then I was like, it could also help. You could use it as social media posts to put out to communities as well as who couldn't make it to the event, or in work groups you could put it in. It's, I don't know, it just allows more clear takeaways, and it's from the event, and I think it's just you can digest the meeting easier.
Exactly.
That's what I thought was really cool about it, and
Definitely.
I think it's going to keep growing, definitely.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not the most ambitious person in the world, but I've learned about myself that I am actually ambitious, which is something we talked about earlier, that I never used to be that way. But I definitely want to be the like illustrator for Liverpool, at least. Like I want to get myself out there like as much as possible, tell people about this, because it's honestly a dream job to be able to do this.
I want to break down as well. I think it's an amazing skill what you do.
Thank you.
By how are you able to sit there live in a room with your, obviously you're just with your say iPad, I assume, and your mind, and listening. How are you able to get all the knowledge that you're consuming live and putting it into work? It must be difficult.
It's I definitely have to be switched on. Yeah, like it's really nerve-wracking when you first start, because like just the bit before you're about to start. And my instinct is to be like, oh no, okay, no, this is happening, I'm uncomfortable, we need to get out, just say you're ill or something, just get out. But then the closer it gets, you're like, no, like you can't do that, you have to like keep going. But once you've like locked in and you're switched on, I try to kind of ignore that there are people around, because sometimes they have it projected, so they can watch what I'm doing. Like my screen is shared, so they can see exactly what I'm doing.
As you work.
And that can be really beneficial. Sometimes they don't, because they need to focus on one thing first, and then you can provide it afterwards. So both ways work really well. But yeah, sometimes they're watching what I'm doing, like as I'm doing it as well. So it's a little bit like more like scary. But I gets to a point where I'm like, okay, no, I'm doing this now. I have to do this. If you mess up, 99% of the time, no one realizes when you think you've messed up. And it was the same with dance. When we had like certain choreography, you're on the stage, no one else in the audience knows your choreography. So if you mess up, if you act like you've messed up, then they're like, oh, she's messed up. And it's exactly the same thing with this. You just keep smiling, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let it phase you, because there's no real like not with dance, like there's no real choreography for this. No one knows what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing either. You're kind of just watching and listening to what's being said, and then being like, let me see how to make this visual, So it's all in the moment, so you can't really be making a mistake. And I can clean it up afterwards. Like, of course. It's not the end of the world, So I just have to keep reminding myself of that, like, you're not dying.
Take the pressure off yourself, No, I just had to ask that because it's still like a very accomplishment skill, because it's being able to retain so much information live, and then from that, using your imagination to put it into visual.
Oh, I love it though. It's great as long as.
Well, as long as you love it, that's.
I just act like I'm alone. Like I kind of pretend I've got a bubble around me, so everything's kind of muffled. I'm just hearing the person speaking, and everything else is fuzzy. It's just me and my iPad because that's my comfort.
So you're in a flow
zone.
state.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
That's where I'm most comfortable. Me and the iPad just drawing. So if I just pretend that's the case, then I'm just
fine.
like pretend I've got like a recording on or something.
Now let's touch on your other thing that you do. So the illustration. Do you, when it's more children or young people's illustration, do you give much thought that you're sparking people's creative minds? Or do you take it on board of like, wow, I'm doing something to help
Yeah.
maybe the next generation look up to you like you probably looked up to or got the spark from other?
Oh, that's nice. I don't. I'm I'm very new to this, so I
Yeah.
think I feel like hopefully when I've got like 5, 10 books out there, maybe.
Yeah.
But for now, I think that's a lovely idea. I think I have a sister who's 16. Hi, Aditi. She is usually my inspiration for a lot of things because I think we were talking about this a few days ago that a therapist I had ages and ages ago, she was like, everything that you're doing right now is for your younger self. You're the person now that you needed when you were younger, right? And I think I we were talking about how my sister was the same. That I see my sister as my younger self, and I'm trying to protect her and look after her and whatever. So that's really lovely. I said whatever, like whatever. It's so that's really lovely. I think that kind of is the same for my illustration. That she's kind of the kid that I try to think of when I'm doing those illustrations, like she's not a kid anymore, but I try to think of when she was younger and what she would have liked. And she's just got such a cute face that I put her face in things and stuff like that.
Will you build that character to allow you to do it? Yeah, no,
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
cool.
So like she was actually the first character that I made.
Yeah.
And these are all just like for my portfolio. These are like personal projects just to get used to character design. But I'm actually working on one right now. That's one of my nieces. I've got another one. That's another one of my nieces. Yeah, it's just my inspiration is the things around me, but it's mostly the cute kids in my family. So yeah, I guess hopefully they'll like it when they get older. I kind of just think of what's whimsical and cute and I enjoy and it brings me joy because I hope that means that they also think the same thing.
They will think the same. Yeah. No, that's lovely. Do you think in general it's important for kids to be creative and we need the opportunities to allow them to be creative?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know the statistics or anything, but I know it helps brain development massively, right? Especially when they're at such a young age. So definitely. But I think even as you get older, creativity should
It's still needed,
yeah, it's still so needed constantly. And I think there are so many people who don't, and I used to as well. Like when I was doing this, the degrees, the psychology degrees, I didn't really draw at all then because I was kind of like, oh, it's a hobby, so leave it for now because I'm busy. But it's something that like if we don't center it, like I feel like things just go gray, like once I started drawing again, I felt like things got color again. And I think that's the same for everyone. Even if you don't have a creative job, you're still creative. There are different things that it doesn't have to be obviously creative, like directly. So yeah, like I think it's equally as important for adults to keep that in their lives. Like things are being underfunded and all of that. And I think it's bullshit, honestly, because people need that kind of stuff. And we like the movies, we like the music, we like the art.
We need it, don't we?
We need it.
I think it's so mentally, I think it's so positive for people to be creative and just express themselves in whatever way. If it's art, in acting, if it's art in drawing, even if it's in sport, because I see sport as art as well. Whatever it is, because it builds self-belief, it builds confidence, and it teaches resilience to like you're working on something. When you do it, there's probably loads of trial and error, isn't there? So it's building that resilience to do that. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's
to keep yourself going because you want to. That's in anything, like you said, it's in sports. Of course it is. That in anything that you do, it builds that resilience to be able to be stronger, be a stronger person. And if you don't, like, I used to get so frustrated with like certain sketches not looking right, or like and I think a lot of other illustrators or people who love drawing, whatever medium that is, once you get the sketch, you love the sketch, and then you try and put color to it, and then it looks shit. Like, sorry, am I supposed to be sorry?
It's okay. You're
okay,
allowed.
good.
Yeah, you're okay too.
It looks horrible then.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like that seems to be like a thing that I'm seeing a lot. That why does that look bad when the sketch was good? You know,
Yeah.
like. And it's just working out those things and trying, not just leaving it and being like, oh, giving up, like, oh, okay, no, it just didn't work out.
Sticking at it, yeah.
Yeah, because then you can create something beautiful from it.
I do that so much. I'm like, when something doesn't work, it's like you get so frustrated, but when you can't actually focus with the frustration, so you've got to try and push that aside and just go, okay, we'll sort it out, and it does always work out.
It always, that's the thing. It always works out, and if it doesn't, it will work out another day. You know, it's not like a full stop on it.
No.
Sometimes just need some distance from it.
Yeah.
Our brains process things while we're doing something else, while we're sleeping, while we take a day away from something.
Yeah.
So then by the time you get back to it, you've probably already got
You're
a
refreshed
solution. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like that. The solution's like that.
Exactly, yeah. So our brains are doing the jobs for us, even if we don't think so.
I want to touch on happiness. You said to me, happiness is a fleeting thing. I really like this. Can we touch on this?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I guess, I don't really remember, my memory is so bad, so like, correct me if I'm wrong if this is what I was saying, but I think I was saying happiness is fleeting because what people look for is happiness, but that's a mood. That's going to come and go. Of
course.
One of my friends decades ago said it was a wild horse. I was like, that's cheesy. But it really is, like it comes and goes. That's not the thing that we should be, I don't like saying should, but that's not the thing that we need to focus on. It's fulfillment.
Yeah. Well, you said that. I've literally got that.
Nice.
There, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fulfillment, contentment, that's that kind of thing that we, I think when people say that they're looking for happiness, that's what they really mean. Purpose, you know, like things that, the foundations of your life being good, solid.
Yeah, but we can't, I really liked it as well because I've spoke to people around me about that. I've asked them what their opinion of was it, and it was really like, you can't always be happy. We want to be, but we can't go through life always happy. Exactly. We've got to go through different emotions, but it's so strong and it is okay. So nobody answered the question when I asked you that the way you did. So that's why I really arised it, because it is, we think, we've got to be happy. It's the pursuit of happiness. Yeah. But it's like, we need to go through being angry. We need to go through being sad, because it allows us to actually enjoy the happiness more, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all a part of life. Like we have to be able to enjoy. I mean, it sounds stupid to like enjoy being angry, but like, why not? Like, there's beauty in all of the things that we do, all of the things that we feel. In the moment, we're going to feel overwhelmed and sad, and we're going to cry. We're going to feel confused and anxious and whatever. But like, maybe we won't see it in the moment, but later on we will see. Like you said, it'll make the happiness feel more valuable. Like we'll value it a lot more. But it's also like, you can't have one without the other. Like, there's value in it. There's always a purpose behind it. And yeah, like I'm an anxious person. I'm a very, very anxious person, and maybe I'll always will be, and maybe that's just something that like most of us deal with, you know, like it's part of life. But there's a reason behind it. It's because my body, my mind is trying to protect me. Yeah. There's always a reason, and we've got to kind of appreciate that reason, I think.
But that probably just shows like you do really care about your circle around you. You care about your work and your purpose and your passion. It does it? That's how I see it as well, though. Yeah, so like even the anxiety, it does lead into that, and that shows why you're so driven with what you do.
You're so right. My partner actually says that to me a lot when I'm like, oh, I'm feeling nervous, or I'm feeling this, or I'm worried about this, and he's like, it's because you care, and that's great.
That's good. Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing that you care. Just do it, like knock it out of the park, and then you'll be happy for it afterwards. Like, who cares if you mess up? Yeah, that's life.
That's life. Yeah. I was literally about to say that. And then I think it links in. You also said, if I'm busy, I'm failing. Now I think for some people, they might take it in a different way. What do you take from saying this? Well,
I think there's parts of life that you need to be busy. I'm very busy right now, and that's great. And I think there's a wonderful thing about being busy. But when you're trying to build something for yourself on your own, yeah, like you're gonna have those moments. Of course you are, but you work on not on you work on things now so you don't have to do that later on. And when you're an established business, if you're too busy, like you're rushed off your feet, you can't take a long lunch, you can't do the slow mornings. Like for me, that's what I want. You can't do those things. You can't have the freedom to do the things that you want to do, that you know you're doing this for. That means you failed, because otherwise, why the hell are you here? Like,
Why are you doing it?
why are you doing it? Yeah, like most of us out there, I'm doing this thing, I'm building this thing because I love illustration and I want to build a life for myself, but I still need to earn money, right? So I'm doing this to earn money. If I'm like, what the hell is the reason for that if I can't enjoy the things outside of work? You know, like I want to have the dogs by the beach. I want to live next to a body of water. I want to have the slow mornings. And if I can't do that because I've got too many things on my plate, I'm failing, definitely.
I see that. I really resonate, because it's like, it's just allowing you to enjoy moments, isn't it? And wanting to. It's like, it's not being a prisoner in your brain, isn't it? That's what it kind of is. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I really wanted to touch on that.
Yeah. Don't want the rat race of I think the UK and America and a lot of places, they do, in the Western world anyway, they do a lot of they glamorize the rat race, and I hate that. I like the Spanish way of living, you know, like I always forget which way it is: live to work or work to live.
It's better to live to work than work to live.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really good way of living, definitely. It's like, I like to say to people, it's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the happiness of the pursuit, which is...
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I also think it helps you with your mind to be able to, them rest days, or like them days where you don't work, it solely allows you to put more energy into it when you're working. So like them slow days that you're on about, I think they are really powerful for people, because I think we as a generation think, if you want to be something, it's got to be 24/7, pushing in. And I'm not saying to people, don't work hard, but we've got to have that moment of rest, haven't we, and away from it.
There's a balance for everything.
Yeah.
Everything you do has got to be balanced. Otherwise, you're running on fumes. You're burnt out. Burnout is actually like it's an actual illness. You can, if it's untreated, it can last 2 to 3 years. So if you don't look after yourself incrementally in the moment, your future is going to be constant, constant ways of trying to prevent the burnout or get rid of the burnout, and that's going to waste way more time anyway. So even if,
do you try and do that? Do you try and put that into your life?
Yeah. I'm not going to be perfect with it, and I think, like I said, I am a bit hard on myself with certain things, but I definitely do. Like I definitely don't work morning to night anymore. I don't really, like I work a lot, but
which is good, obviously.
But I look after myself as well. I still have like weekends off, or the very least I'll have Sunday off. There's something like there that I've planned to have some sort of respite, if that's my on my own, or with my partner, or bubble bath, or you know, something
anything,
like that.
It's because we don't want to take away the factor of the enjoyment and the love of doing it, because it just turns into work then, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And we could drop dead tomorrow. Like, then what's all that work for? You know, like we have to be enjoying it during the journey, not just the destination. The journey's got to be fun too, you know.
I also want to talk about your opinion on something that could really affect you personally and your line of work, and that is AI. What is your opinion on that? How do you think it'll affect you personally in your industry of work?
I think I don't want to ever act like I know everything there is to know about it, because I don't. I
don't think any of us do, but like when I was building it together, I was thinking like it is a huge factor, especially in this age. That's why I wanted to arise the question to you to see what you thought.
Well, from what I know so far, I'm not too worried because the kind of clients that I want to work with wouldn't want AI for the jobs that I do.
Yeah.
So for me, may make things more difficult, sure, but it kind of weeds out the kind of people that I don't want to work with anyway. I want to work with people who appreciate human creativity and who want to create something really cool together, or want to further their business by human creativity, like with the live illustration. So I'm not too worried about getting clients. It's always going to be hard to find clients. It's always going to be hard to build a business, and it's hard, and I'm at the start of it right now. So I'm kind of just trying to build the foundations right now and trying to get to know the people. But yeah, it's always going to be hard. So like that's just kind of another thing that is something to bear in mind for the generative AI stuff, image generation. Even for copy, like it's not affecting me directly, but it's still unethical because it's taken from previous works
Of
by
people,
authors. Yeah. But also with image generation, it's been taken, like for all I know, my original artwork has been taken and used in whatever image generation platforms are. So it's unethical. So that's just by that alone it's not something I agree with. So I do make sure that it's separate to, like if I'm working with someone that does that, I make sure it's nothing to do with my work because I don't want it around my work. I don't want it being used with my work, edited with my work or anything. So there's that, but I kind of just have that boundary in place. Just if people don't like it, then it makes me know that I don't want to work with them anyway if they're not going to respect it.
I see that, so it allows you to see who is to work with, who's not to work with.
Exactly, yeah. Like it's not ideal, but
no,
like it helps me weed out the people that I don't really.
Well, I don't think it'll last, to be fair. I don't think
so. It's already, people are already saying like, oh, AI slop. Because
it
is.
I think there's some ways where maybe it could help just in little day-to-days, just improvement of just technology quicker, finding answers out quicker, stuff like that. But I just think, especially in your industry, it doesn't allow the emotional depth. It doesn't allow the storytelling that you can do. It doesn't. You use your experience and your life and emotions into your art or human understanding of each other, where that's one thing that can't do. So that's why I truthfully believe it won't.
But it's already gone downhill. It's already something for image generation anyway. Like you said, like it's nuanced. So I get that there are certain things that I won't know that it will be super helpful for. Obviously, things that like people don't want to do, like making a shopping list.
Of course.
Doing certain administration things. I think there are some things I also do VA work, and certain things I don't. That I feel like a person can do. But like certain things that people don't want to do, I think AI is amazing for. Great. It's terrible for the environment. So I'm not saying I'm perfect with environmental stuff. I try to be conscious of it, but I'm not perfect. But I'm conscious that it is terrible in that side too. So if that gets better, great. But yeah, I feel like it's people are already starting to be like,
especially in the creative outlets of people.
Like
I don't think it would ever be respected. So
no, that's the thing. People are stopping. They don't like it anymore. They don't respect it anymore.
No.
So they're actively looking for people who they like. They're typing in like human artist, human this, human
because
that.
that's what we want. We want that, like the factor of being, what's the word? Not shocked, but I'll use shocked because I can't think of another word. Of just like, wow, somebody's able to produce that. Like
exactly. But I think that certain people have tried to replicate or make creativity regimented and controlled. They've tried to control it for so long, since the dawn of time, and they've never been successful because creativity and art in all forms is not controllable. And it's not something that can be controlled by the masses or by the rich people to get them more money. It's something that everyone should and can and should use to become better people, to enjoy life more and like
make life easier in a way. But I just don't think, that's why I just wanted to bring it up, and I just don't think it'll work. But even when people do create it, it's like I heard something where it's like artists and singers don't worry about cover bands because they're just copying, aren't they? Do
They
you know
really
what I
are.
mean?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's changed. I doubt it's changed now, but from what I've heard, it physically doesn't have the ability to create something new. It's always anything that it comes out with has been used,
Yeah.
has been created before. So yeah, like it's literally, it's not going to be able to do that. And if it does in the future, come back to me. I don't know, but like right now,
Right now, yeah.
I have no taste.
No, good. I just wanted to see your
Yeah,
opinion.
no,
And I
it's
think
interesting.
it's a huge topic at the
It
moment,
really
isn't
is.
it?
It
Yeah.
really is. Yeah, but
So
I
you wouldn't
don't.
say you're worried?
I'm not worried, but I'm not happy about it.
No.
It's I just don't like
Yeah.
how unethical it
I
is.
wouldn't be, especially unethical. And then just for you in general, well, as a collective, you obviously would know and you respect other artists and other illustrators. It's like it takes away the hard work and the achievements
It
you have
does,
all done,
yeah.
which isn't nice, is it? So personally, you must feel a vendetta against it in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
look, there's always going to be, obviously, this is to a way lesser extent, but there's always going to be a risk of you putting stuff online and then someone else copying it, another human. You know, so it's not like it's kind of on a similar line
Yeah.
of someone copying your work or something copying your work in this case. So it's not a nice feeling, but you kind of just like, oh, we move,
Yeah.
you know, like it's not something I can control. It doesn't feel good at all, but I just have got to figure out, you know, who I want to work with, and as long as you keep consistent with it, you find your people, you know. So yeah, and hopefully AI will be something that people continue to be like, oh no, we don't want AI stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I can look for a human.
Definitely. Well, as you probably know, I got in touch with a friend of yours or business
Yeah.
partner, which is Jo.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically asked her opinion of you, what you like as a person, and her view of you in her eyes. So I've got a little short thing to read out to you, and I just want to see your opinion on it. So I met Dhari earlier this year, and from our first conversation, I knew she was something special. Her sharp knowledge of Notion and LinkedIn instantly stood out, but it didn't take long to realise her talents go far beyond that. Behind all her organised, practical mindset is an incredible creative energy. She, she supports me across social media, newsletters, and client admin, all with precise passion and infectious enthusiasm. Dhari brings calm, clarity, and creativity to everything she does, and I'm proud to have her as a part of Live and Co. She's kind, caring, and genuinely invested in helping others to shine. And as much as I'd love to keep it all to myself, I know she's destined for incredible things.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really lovely. She's someone, Joe's someone I work with doing VA work, and like I was saying to you, she's her business went from the Liverpool VA to Liver and Co. Because now she's expanding. She was a solo VA, and now she's expanding to hire more VAs. And she's a wonderful, wonderful person. And she yeah, hired me as a VA, and I do like part-time work with her, and she's just, I really like her. She's great, and I'm so glad that she likes me.
Yeah, I think it was lovely because I've had loads of people who have given me a very close friend or a family member, which is lovely, and we've had some amazing feedback, and people have loved hearing what people have to say about them, and some of the answers have been so lovely. But I love this because it's different, and it's like a colleague. It's like what a colleague sees. You wouldn't normally hear this ever. Nobody really would say an opinion. So
Yeah.
I really like reading it and seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
lovely.
I think it's lovely because we have, of course, a professional relationship, but she's like, we're not stuffy. And I really like that about our relationship. And like people, I want to cultivate that in any connection that I have, that we can be professional, we can be business-like, we can be focused on business stuff, but we can still be caring to one another. We can still be, you know, not stuffy, and we can still be feminine without it being like, you know, like a opposite to being professional. So we still, you know, are quite like close in that way, which is really lovely. I would trust her with my life, genuinely. She's a wonderful person.
Going to my closing tradition, which is called the walk away. And the question is, if somebody walked a day in your shoes, what's one lesson they'd learn?
I was thinking about this earlier. What was I thinking about? So I think it's funny because this question made me a bit uncomfortable when I was thinking about it earlier, because I don't like being like, you can learn so much from me. You know? It kind of just made me think about that a little bit, which is actually funny because that's my young version of me talking, I think. And I still am like that now, where I'm still kind of trying to get used to compliments or like being in the spotlight or whatever. And I think the thing that people could learn, still makes me cringe thinking about it. People could learn when I went from someone who was extremely shy and risk averse and loved being in the comfort zone, and let my anxiety control me. So I think going from that to the way I am now, I think the main thing that I did was being comfy with being uncomfortable, getting used to the uncomfortable decisions because I know it's the right one. My morality is extremely important to me, so I learned to trust my gut and follow that, and even if it's an uncomfy decision, to just go for it, and that's it, no more thinking about it. That's the thing that I'm going to do, and that's a full stop, you know? Oh, that's another thing. I think saying things, from my experiences as a woman, saying things as a full stop, not a question mark, that has been really important to me as well to learn. I think those are the things that kind of under like the same territory, like get used to being uncomfy, because you need to become the version of you that you want to become, and that's how you get to the kind of person that you can be proud of, you know, the kind of person that your younger self can be proud of, the kind of person that your family, anyone around you can be proud of, you know. So, yeah.
Wow, that was a really good answer.
Thank you.
You're only thinking about that today. That's a really good answer.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And thank you for allowing us into your life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Josh.